Hello and welcome to the brief provider training video for the EPC Telemed platform. The first thing that you'll note is that I am on a web browser. The preferred browser that is going to give you the best performance is going to be a Chrome browser, which is a wheel with red, yellow, and green colors. Once you're on your computer or your tablet or your smartphone and you have access to the Chrome browser, the first thing that you do is you'll go into the address bar and you'll type in the following: telemed.elitepatientcare.com. Hit enter. Here you'll notice that you'll be defaulted to the section for the patient or the facility. The first thing that you'll have to do in order to be in the right location to enter your credentials is hit the clinician login, which is at the bottom left. Click that. You'll now be in a different session, and you'll notice on the address bar it actually shows clinician. Also at the bottom it'll ask you if you're a clinician by saying not a clinician, go back to the patient section. In this case, because you are a clinician, we want you to go ahead and enter your ID, your email that was provided to you, as well as the password. In my case, I have them pre-saved, and you'll simply hit sign in. The first thing that you'll notice is at the moment I have no facilities connected. In a case where you're going live with this and actually looking to generate an encounter, you'll find that there would be a list of facilities here, presumably more than one, depending on the workflow and depending on where we are with the launch of the platform. It's important that you notice that you cannot simply randomly select any facility. Depending on your assignment and your call duties, you'll want to make sure that from the list of facilities listed here, you'll be able to select the facility that you want. Moving past that, however, you can X out of that initial default setting, and I'll walk you through the buttons. On the bottom, you have the simple buttons where you can mute and unmute your mic. The next one is you can turn on or turn off your camera. You'll want to make sure that whatever browser or device you're using, you've given the device, the platform permission in order to use both the video and camera. And there'll be some questions if you've never used it before that you'll simply default to the answer of yes, allow for video and microphone use. The next is show or hide our own camera. In other words, while you're in the video session, you don't necessarily need to see your face in the small screen up in a corner. It'll allow you to have a little bit more space on the screen for your patient visit. The next thing that you'll see is a care plan. Now this is the native platform for documentation on this telemedicine platform. We do not at all want you to document on this. You will be defaulting to documentation on ChartPath as always. You can X out of that. The final button is facilities waiting call, which was the default that you saw when you first entered the platform. When you hit that, you'll once again be given access to the populated facilities that are currently on wait. Again, there's none waited, as indicated by no facilities connected. The next thing to note is on the top right, there's a button that toggles you on call and off call. It's important to know that unless you toggle yourself off of call once your session is over or once your call duty is over, if you remain on this green setting, you will ultimately not be able to stop the texts and notifications coming in from your designated facilities that you've selected, and you will continue to get those pages at all hours of the day and the night. So make sure you toggle yourself off. That's the only way that you will be secure to not continue to receive messages when you're not wanting them. You would have noticed that on the far left, I'm toggling this tab. The tab opens up the other functionality. This is a ChartPath button. This, if you hit it, will automatically allow you to start a session within a session and log into your ChartPath account. I recommend that you try this if you feel like you're going to be able to do this concurrently inside this platform. I would otherwise recommend that you X out of that and that you simply open up another tab and split the screen between the telemedicine application and ChartPath documentation. It may be confusing, if you try to do both at the same time within this platform, and we haven't tested the internal functionality actively. I would recommend, once again, that you open a second tab and that you split your screen to the EPC Telemed app on one side and the ChartPath browser on the other. The next button is EPC Connect. That functionality has not been fully released, but that in the future would allow us, for patients that are under remote patient monitoring, to evaluate their most recent vitals. Again, this is not an active button. I would not use it. The next is secure messaging, which is also active, but we haven't trained and we haven't fully deployed this. So once again, please do not hit the secure messaging button. The next button is important, and that's the conference button. That conference button, if you were to hit it, it would give you a choice of any facility and any clinician that's actively present, and it would ask, you could ask that clinician to participate in this call. For example, a consultant, or in theory another clinician, or you're supervising attending. If you're an advanced practice provider, you could link somebody actively into the existing session by conferencing them in, assuming of course that they are themselves on the platform and have selected themselves to be on call. Going back to the remaining buttons, once again, this is a remote patient monitoring dashboard. You're not going to be using that. This is an important button that I want you to be aware of. These three audio plugin looking icons. If you hit that, you'll be brought to the site where you can update your own profile. You can upload a picture. You can change your phone number. You can change your security questions, and you can update the password from the generic password that you're provided. To get out of here, you'll once again open this tab and you'll go back to the home screen. Let me show you that once again. If you're in one of these sessions, you're unsure how to get back to the home screen, you hit the tab and back to the home screen, or simply log out. So going back to my home screen, I'm going to X out of the facilities list, come back to the tab to finish the final buttons. These settings are also very important. This wheel button here will determine how you want notifications to be pushed out to you for your call notifications. And here I would recommend that you leave both of these boxes checkmarked. Push notification and SMS notification. If you made any changes, save them. It'll give you a notification that you've successfully done so. The final button is simply the sign out button, where once you sign out of here, this session will be discontinued. Once again, please note that this does not guarantee that you've removed yourself from being on call. So let me go back to the home screen. I apologize. Here, as you sign out, you've got to make sure that you securely either toggle yourself off or back on call if you're going to be on call before you exit. And that's all there is to it, folks. And now I'm signed out.